Welcome back to the EAM Crypto channel. My name is Enrique. Thank you so much for watching. Today marks episode number 16 of the weekly recap and upcoming weekly preview. Huge week coming up. It seems like every week is a huge week, but Powell, who's on the thumbnail, he will be talking on Thursday morning, and the whole week is basically going to revolve around that. We do have two big events in crypto with the ADA Basel or Basel hard fork on Wednesday, as well as EOS hard forking into Antelope on Wednesday. It's going to present some opportunities. It is presenting opportunities, and we're going to discuss that and get into the charts. But before looking at the charts and news and all that good stuff, a huge thank you to Swapsicle for being our sponsor and partner with the channel. Go check out Swapsicle. It's a fantastic DEX. They're doing so many different things. You can stake, you can farm. There's really no limit of what you can do with their services, with their service and their platform. So go check out Swapsicle. And then if you are looking to do some leverage trading or shorting crypto, you can't do that on Swapsicle, but you can do that on Bitget. So check out my affiliate link below. It's a huge help to my channel if you use that link to do set up an account with Bitget, which again, shorting crypto has been incredibly profitable this year. So and we're going to be discussing a few spots there. So let's get into it. There's a lot to cover. All right, so let's get into the charts. As of right now, Saturday evening, as you can see, it's pretty much all green for the crypto landscape. I talked in the podcast with Yabonks and with Austin Clark that I did expect for a little bit of a kitten, what I call a kitten bounce. So not exactly a dead cat bounce, but just a little kitten bounce for the weekend to see some relief. So this was not unexpected at all. And what we need to now do is wait to see when things really get real, and that will be Sunday evening when the futures markets open up for the traditional markets. I really want to see how those futures open up. CME futures will open up on Sunday evening as well, so that's when things are going to get real. As CME futures closed at around 20,700, as you can see right now, Bitcoin's above that by quite a bit, by about almost 500 points, right? So expect to see, I would expect to see, and look, historically, when you have a green weekend, the next week is usually red and vice versa. So keep that in mind as well. But let's see how the futures markets open up. If they look pretty strong at the end on Sunday evening, then maybe this will spill over into Monday, possibly Tuesday too. But then you got to think that maybe at close end on Tuesday with the traditional markets, and then Wednesday, the day before Powell speaks, that's when I would expect to see a lot of the big money, a lot of the smart money say, all right, we're going back into cash. We're going to take things out. And that's when you probably will start seeing some red for sure. Who knows? Maybe it'll be before that. But right now, things look like that could definitely be the case. Now, looking at the Dixie, here we are. This is the 1 week. And yeah, I just, it seems like it's the most likely scenarios that we're going to test these, and who knows, then maybe we'll go higher, but we are going to test this 120, and we're at 109 right now. So what is that going to do for the crypto landscape? Obviously that will be really bad. So keep that in mind, guys. Like the weekly chart on the Dixie just looks really strong. It just looks destined for at least 120, and then we'll see what happens. So pretty spooky because the Dixie looks so strong. If you look at BTC dominance, it is finally, for the first time since June 18th, it has positive momentum. Not much, but it has positive momentum on the daily. So, and of course, historically, BTC dominance going up is usually not good for the price action of alts. The most likely scenario here. What's telling me is that alts are probably going to get burned a lot worse than Bitcoin in the weeks to come. So again, BTC dominance also kind of telling that story. But BTC has held strong this weekend. It's done pretty well. It was looking a little scary for a little bit there on Friday night, but it did kind of get its act together, and here we are now at 20,122. But like I said before, I am expecting Bitcoin, and look, it's just been ranging for basically like the last few hours, right? From right here. Yeah, I mean, it's been ranging for about 8 hours plus now. So not really doing much, which is good for alts. So if Bitcoin keeps ranging the rest of this weekend, should be great for alts. Ethereum doing really nicely today, up 2.57, but that is the way things have been going. That's a win for Ethereum. So let's talk about Ethereum because there are a few things to cover. As you can see here, There's not much keeping it from testing the support line. Well, it's not a resistance line back from August 26th. Not much impeding it. If Bitcoin plays ball, it should, let's see here, maybe like 1562, very much in the realm of possibility. And then we'll see if it can somehow, on the first effort, pass that line that used to be support, then now we can start talking about maybe 1630 something. But and then I'd be very surprised if it passed that one too, because now it's two big resistance lines that it would have to cover. So that would look pretty unlikely, considering that Powell's going to speak as soon as Thursday morning. And I'm expecting the markets to start getting spooked probably as early as Tuesday late afternoon in the power hour, right before the traditional markets close. So that is how I'm seeing things for Ethereum, and then all the alts will follow. I do want to call a couple out. A lot of interesting stuff here. So first of all, XLM. XLM was one that we talked about last week, where its structure looked really, really good, like DOT, and I can't remember which other one, but it looked really good, but it didn't perform as well as DOT did, and I was expecting it to, and it didn't. And now it's kind of come alive. It was looking really good this really yesterday evening. And I didn't notice this till after the podcast with Bonks and Austin Clark. If not, I would have been happy to talk about it then. And it's done a nice little move. So it is starting to get very close to the overbought territory on the 4 hour. I'm going to assume it's already overbought on the 2 hour. Yep, it's big time already overbought on the 2 hour. So this will probably be, and look, this is going to be a heavy zone of resistance. So I'm calling this out. You're probably thinking, well, it's too late to get in here. Yeah, it is. But it may not be too late to short it come pretty soon. So let's see how it does when it hits this resistance here. But very likely that it probably won't cross it. And then it would be a good option to short. So keep an eye on XLM. EOS, hard fork to Antelope on the 21st. So I just want to be very clear about this, because there's a lot to talk about here. So this is a very violent token. When it rises really, really fast. When it drops really, really fast. So you got to be really, really careful with this. If you're going to use leverage, use very low leverage on this. And I think it's going to present a ton of opportunity. I got in at like 139, I think it was, on Friday, right when the traditional markets closed, because I kind of wanted to make sure that if I took a fresh long, it was while the traditional markets were closed, because they're the ones that have been causing a lot of dumpage in crypto. So I did that. It got up to like 143, and then I sold last night. So yeah, I left some money on the table, but it's okay. A modest win is a modest win, so I'll take a win any day of the week. But I got a little spooked out when BTC started looking a little iffy late Friday evening or Friday night. It was late. And I was tired. We came home from the high school football game. I should have just not even looked at charts. I should have just gone straight to bed. But oh well. So we will see what happens here. But I do think that this should keep running up as long as Bitcoin doesn't dump. Really, probably until the night before that hard fork, I would think. But then let's see how much it runs up. I'm just not excited about taking any fresh longs right now. If I do, it feels weird because the macro is so bad, and because Powell's going to speak in less than a week. So I'm just gonna wait and see. I'm gonna cheer this on. I'm gonna cheer that it goes as high as possible. Maybe with a little luck, it just goes nuts. And then come the 21st, when the hard fork happens and all the kind of like with the merge. You get the buy the news and sell, or what is it? Buy the rumor, sell the news. Yeah, and it dumps hard. So the higher EOS goes, and the faster it does it, and the more overbought that it is, come the 21st, the more profitable the short will be. So that's my play with EOS. And as far as how low can it drop on the if we short it, I mean, it was just at what over here, 82 cents, right? I have it memorized. Yeah, 82 cents back in June 18th. Probably won't drop that low, but you got to figure out there's going to be a lot of dumpage. So let's see how high it gets, and and then we can kind of maybe do even a measured move then once that is done, to see how, what our targets will be. But I would expect a nice little chunky opportunity there with EOS shorting it. So, but I'm just not wanting to take a fresh long right now. It's just, and I'm probably leaving money on the table, but don't care. It's okay. You can't lose money on the trades you never make. So, I'm just kind of taking that approach. All right, so let's talk about ETC. ETC, a lot to talk about here. Yeah. All right. So one thing that I want to call out is that ETC, Ravencoin, all these tokens that were going to greatly benefit from the merge because of the fact that the miners are now going to move to those tokens to do their mining. It just got overhyped. The hype was more than the reality of how much it will help the token. And an increase in hash rate doesn't necessarily mean an increase in price action. It just doesn't. And I did my due diligence on it. I've actually talked to a couple of people I know a lot about this, a few, not just a couple, more than 5. So I feel like I know enough to understand how price action is affected by the hash rate or vice versa. And so look at Raven. It went all the way to over almost 7.6 or 0. So 7.6 cents. It's now at 4.8 cents. So that's like a 35% drop. 35% drop. So I couldn't find a place to short Raven. I wanted to short it back at 7 cents. I wasn't able to. I wanted to short it right here because I thought it was done for. Somehow it went up higher, so I would have had a little scare. But I wasn't able to figure out where to short this. No one seems to offer a place to short this coin. Which surprised me because its market cap, or its fully diluted market cap, is over 1 billion. Its market cap is only half of that because only 50% of the circulating supply is out there. So yet another great reason to short this thing. But I wasn't able to short it, but we can short ETC. So ETC has, from its highs up here when it hit this range that I drew back in what? I mean, this one's pretty old now, August 12th. It's only dropped about, what's that, 42? So it's only dropped less than 20%, like 18%. So it's dropped a lot less than Raven has. And I just feel like it's going to have a lot more downside. And so ETC is one that I'm hoping runs quite hard from while crypto kind of goes on this little cat or mini cat bounce. So far, it hasn't really done much. All it did is just stop the bleeding. It got down as low as 32.79. And so it's gone up, about 8%. But this to me is going to be a really, really, really good opportunity to short some more. And it's going to test the bottom of this range at some point, is my 2 cents. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait to see how crypto does over the next few hours or a couple days. The higher it runs, the better the short opportunity. I would just love to see it up here, right? Just create like a lower high up here, maybe around $38 somewhere, or even more beautiful, $39. And then just create a lower high than these, right? Because it's just, here's the high, or here's the first high, another high, another high, another high, another high. Every time lower highs, right? So let's see how much lower the next high is. So hopefully it can run up that high. I don't even think it can, but let's just see how high it gets over the next couple days. And but I do think that the excitement, the FOMO about ETC, I think a lot of people kind of started realizing, what was going to really happen here. And with the macro just raining on everything, I don't know. I'll be surprised if it gets that high up there, but hopefully it will, because they'll just produce more profits on the way down. And then I think the best place to just write it down all the way down to the very, very drop of wherever this trend line is. So whether it hits it here at 28.12, or maybe it takes a little longer and it hits it here at 26.63. Those are some juicy, juicy profits. Even with little leverage, those are going to be some juicy profits by shorting it. So that will be the play there. And then ADA's the other one, right? On the 21st, they have their hard fork to Vossel. It just hasn't gone up that much, all things considered. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But I'm not going to touch this one. At first, I was thinking of taking along this weekend. And would not have been bad. It's up 2.51% today. So I kind of missed the boat already there. The volume is not great. Look at the volume. Pretty low. But then again, it is a Saturday, so that is to be expected. So I guess I shouldn't call that out. But we will see what happens there. But I'm not going to touch it. But if you guys want to think of, a good spot to take along from now through its hard fork on the 21st, would not be surprised at all if it tests these highs and goes all the way to 52. But what if Bitcoin takes a big, massive dump tonight, which it could? It would surprise me, but it could. And then you just, take some decent losses on ADA, which has never been a great performing asset. So it's just tough. It's just really tough to justify fresh longs right now, but if there was one alt that I would say, yeah, I'd still think that this, if you really want to take a fresh long because you're anti-shorting, I guess ADA would be it, and I would just sell it on the 20th, the night of the 20th, the day before the Basel hard fork. But you got to be really careful because we don't know when the traditional markets are going to, do what I think they're going to do of, turning really, really red before Powell speaks. So as far as Powell speaking, is it going to be 75 basis points? Is it going to be 100 basis points? Obviously, I don't know. If you would have asked me before the CPI prints came on Tuesday, I would have said for sure it's going to be 75 points. I mean, this week was crazy. We had a lot of great calls. The TA was respected a lot, but the TA was not respected that morning. The TA just assumed that the CPI report was going to come clean, and it didn't. And yeah, I had to like close out my longs and open up shorts and do it instantly, and it was very, very crazy. And again, I talk about this all the time. The TA is not always respected, so sometimes it's going to work out, sometimes it's not. But as far as what's going to happen Thursday morning, that's going to be a crazy time as well. If he comes out and says 100 basis points, boom, expect the markets just implode. There's no way that's priced in already. I don't think that's priced in. Now, if he says 75 basis points, that's where it gets tricky because it depends on what his verbiage is. So if he says, because we know 75 basis points is cooked in, we know it's been cooked in, right? So what if it's 75 basis points, but he talks in a super crazy hawkish way? Well, then despite the fact that it's 75 basis points and not 100 basis points, the markets will probably still implode. So, but if he doesn't talk in a very hawkish way, and it's kind of like in the middle, then what are the markets going to do, or are they not going to do much? So it's going to be really interesting. No one knows exactly what's going to happen. So that's why I think that the days leading up to it, or definitely the day leading up to it, that Wednesday, we'll probably see a red stock market because the smart money is going to say, well, I don't want to gamble right now, right? So that's why you're going to see a lot of the money go back to the sidelines. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking is going to happen, but we will see. I mean, I've been surprised many times. I was dead surprised last week, was not expecting that CPI print, but now we know, right? It just goes to show that the U.S. government's really digging into those reserves. There's actually a few places online you can track that I wasn't aware of until this week. So hey, look, we're always learning. We're learning together. We're trying to get better at this. And every week I make mistakes. I do some things right. You guys probably do the same. So that's why it's important to just keep working on yourself, investing yourself as much as you can. And then that way you can then invest in a more proper and confident way, right? So anyways, I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, there's one other thing I wanted to cover. As far as DeFi, just big congratulations to MDB. They're just killing it. So it's now 1.75 cents. Look at this graph, thing of beauty. Just amazing. So it's almost like it's a 3x for me now since I got in, plus the compounding. So it's just been a beautiful thing. Really huge congratulations to these guys. The volume is strong, 156K. Nice little balance of buys and sells. Just amazing. But these guys have some work to do. They're gonna need to figure out a way to get. They've done an amazing job of getting out in DeFi. Everyone knows who they are in DeFi, but they need to get out, and they want to accomplish what I would like to see them accomplish, which is see that market cap instead of 15 million, maybe closer to like 150 million. They got some work to do outside of DeFi. And I just wanted to give a heads up. Go check out Spring Game. I'm going to be doing an AMA with them next week. Go check out Spring Game real quick. If you look at their graph, what does this remind you of, guys? Yep, reminds you of Horde, right? So it's very nice what they've been able to do. They range from 95 cents or 90 cents, I guess, to 120. So their range is quite high, which could produce opportunity, right? Think about it. But yeah, so I am going to be interviewing them on, I think it's Monday of next week. Their system is very different than Horde's, but seems to be accomplishing the same things, right? Because it's been doing this now for a bit, ever since they went to their V2 back in August 8th. So check that out. And yeah, I look forward to talking to them, to seeing if maybe we found something else that's stable and you can count on. So guys, thanks so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.